Finish him.
What is going on, everyone? It is I, Shuby, and today I'm going to show y'all how you can solo a boss fight in Mortal Kombat 11. Now, this is a tutorial against AI. You won't be doing this damage online, but let's take a look at Baraka. Now, I didn't use any consumables in that, but augments we're going to use. Now, let's first take a look at the augments that I did use, which was Cold Start. This is the big one. Inflict 40% less damage initially, but gain 6% damage for each attack landed. Effect lasts until the end of the round. So that means it is the best for the boss fights because it is only one round and they have a lot of health. So you're able to tack on a lot of hits. Now the other augments, you can just do something that accommodates one of the abilities that you're using at the time. So I have 3 different augments that buff my gutted attack. One does 6%, one does 9%, and one does 3%. You know, I'm no mathematician, but I think that's 18% more damage on that. Not to include the extra damage that you're going to be doing for each consecutive hit that you land with the Cold Start augment. So I highly recommend you go into the inventory of your main character and see if you have an augment that's similar to the one that I put on Baraka. Now I do have a lot of augments for other characters and I didn't see one quite like it, so you might be subject to using Baraka for this sort of thing. But I honestly, it's a peace of mind that you're able to do these on your own, and it makes it a lot easier. You don't have to deal with some random person who quits or doesn't tag out or doesn't, offer consumables when you're in like the 3v1 boss fights. It just makes it so much better in my opinion. So what I'm going to do now is show you guys how I built up the damage meter for Baraka to get that 2k damage, and honestly did it just for kind of show. I want to see how high I could get that damage meter, but just fighting him like normal would build up your attacks, to the point where you could solo them yourself. So what I did is do like little starter combos so I could open them up, usually with like a down 1, and then I'd hit like 1, 2, and then go right into the chop chop. And the chop chop is a great way to build up those hits and get that percentage higher and higher. So it's plus 6% damage for every single one of those hits, and it's stacking and it's stacking. So I was doing it until I was getting almost 1,000 damage for the 1-2 hit, and then adding chop chop. So by the time that I did my gutted, which, may I remind you, has plus 18% damage with the other augments I have attached, I did over 2,000 damage. And I did this quite a few times just so I could reach over 2,000. Most of the time I was getting around 1,400 damage, but I was still beating him. And it still gives you consumables and coin and things like that for defeating or beating this fight. But that's it. You can solo fights pretty easy. I hope this helped you guys out. I'm Shuby. Y'all take care.
Explosion.